It's no secret that Isaac is a very hard game, especially when you're just starting out. So after putting in over 10,000 hours, getting 5 full Dead God save files, and getting one of them without dying a single time, I think I'm finally qualified to give you 5 tips that I wish I knew when I first started playing Isaac. Number 1, avoiding damage. I'm not going to waste your time and make you wait till the end for my best advice. My first tip is going to be the best advice I can give you, and that's this. Avoiding damage is more important than dealing damage. This doesn't mean damage isn't something that you should focus on, but even if you miss 90% of your shots, dodging every attack will always lead to a one run. I see a lot of new players tend to get really close to enemies so they have an easier time hitting their shots, but this almost always results in taking a lot of unnecessary and avoidable damage. So I'd recommend standing back and being okay with missing some or even most of your shots if it means you aren't taking damage yourself. And remember that a majority of rooms can be solved by simply kiting in a circular pattern. Adding on to that kiting strategy, if you ever find yourself overwhelmed in a room or against a really tricky pattern you aren't familiar with, I find it helpful to hold on a fire keep, forget about it, and only focus on dodging until you have the room more under control. Tip number 2 is about unlocks. Isaac has over 600 of them, and I get asked all the time on stream, what's the best unlock to go for first? Now don't get me wrong, there are plenty of items in the game that can win you a run single-handedly, but adding 1 or 2 good items to a pool of hundreds doesn't actually help you that much. Not to mention the fact that a lot of those strong items are unlocked after you spend potentially hundreds of hours in the game. Instead, the unlock that I go for first when starting a new save file, and the unlock that will raise the win percentage of every single run you do, is this bad boy right here. This is the donation machine. It's a bank found in the shop with an inventory that persists through runs. This means that if you put 20 cents in it during a run, next run, and every run afterwards, it'll still be at 20. You can put money into it by bumping into it, and you can take money out of it by bombing it once per run. Reaching certain donation milestones unlocks very powerful items like the red and blue candle, 2 of the strongest active items in the entire game, both offensively and defensively. Another donation unlock is the run-winning stopwatch item, slowing everything down besides you. But like I said, item unlocks aren't the important part here. Donating also upgrades the shop itself, allowing it to sell more things. When you just start out the game, your shop will have around 2 things for sale, but a max level shop has up to 6, tripling your chance of finding whatever you need. And trust me, the shop has what you need. Of course, buying consumables like cards, pills, bombs, keys, and health is great, but the shop item pool also offers some incredibly strong items that cover offense, defense, utility, and if you ever hope to achieve game-breaking runs like this someday, you're gonna need multiple items found only in the shop, most likely. The shop isn't the most flashy thing in the game, but an upgraded shop adds exponentially more consistency to your runs when you consider the fact they get 6 or 7 in a single run, so upgrade it ASAP. Tip number 3 is to use your bombs. You should always be on the lookout for these 3 opportunities to use your bombs effectively. The first is breaking tinted rocks. What's a tinted rock, you may be asking? These are tinted rocks. They're usually slightly discolored and have a small X somewhere on them. Destroying them will give you pickups, mainly in the form of valuable soul health, but also bombs, keys, chests, and occasionally the small rock item, all of which are more than worth a single bomb. The second is finding your secret rooms. Every floor has 2 secret rooms, one regular and one super secret. These secret rooms don't normally show up on the map and require a bomb or some other means of explosion to open. Secret rooms can have a lot of good loot in them, including some of the best and worst items in the game, but they're almost always nearly worth finding. Each type of secret room has its own rules of where it can and cannot spawn. Knowing these rules and a few other quirks can make finding them very easy. I'll be making an in-depth guide on how to find all types of secret rooms, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss that. And while you're down there, consider liking the video. Helps out a ton. With that shameless plug out of the way, the third and often forgotten about use is combat. Bombs deal a whopping 100 damage to enemies and ignore boss armor as well, meaning nearly every enemy in the game dies to just 1 bomb. And most early game bosses die to just 2 or 3. Don't be afraid to use bombs in normal rooms just to kill enemies or even make dodging easier. Take the first mom fight for instance. If I enter this fight with a bad build, I'll usually clear out the rocks in a corner or 2 of the room just to make dodging a bit easier. A bomb or 2 here is well worth the hearts you save by not taking damage. And tip number 4 is to experiment. There are over 700 items on Isaac, and some are definitely better than others, but every item has a use even if it's not apparent at first. I would strongly recommend using an external tool like external item descriptions, Isaac Guru, or wiki.gg to learn what does what. But remember that experience is the best teacher. Every item is someone's favorite and least favorite, and blindly following a Reddit tier list may stop you from trying on an item you would otherwise love. In a similar vein, as you get better at the game, your preferences will change too. Items like Dead Cat and D7 are awful when you're just starting out, but can become extremely powerful when you know how to really abuse them, so don't be afraid to try out things you've previously written off. And my last and arguably most important tip is to have fun. I know it's cheesy, but it's true. Isaac is a brutally hard game, and you're gonna die over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. It's easy to get frustrated and feel stuck, but winning runs shouldn't be your goal. Learning, improving, and enjoying the time spent should be what you're focused on. This game is truly infinitely replayable, and even getting just one 100% save file takes many people years to do. So go at your own pace, ignore anyone telling you you're doing it wrong, and make sure to take breaks if the game ever starts to feel like a chore. I promise the game will still be there when you get back, and probably still getting updates too. Those are my top 5 beginner tips as someone with nearly 10,000 hours in the game. If you want more top-level Isaac content, make sure to subscribe, join my Discord, or catch a stream live where I answer questions all the time. I'll also be answering every single Isaac-related question within reason on this video, so if you have any, make sure to comment down below. Thanks for watching, see you in the next one.